Okay, so let's get to the meat of this section. All right, I'm in the T section, and n is less than 30. And I got to do something kind of like I did in the Z section, except that there's a T interval button, okay, which was right under the Z interval. So this is a section of the book that involves the T interval button. That's the basic difference between 7.4 and 7.3. 7.3, I just kept going for the Z interval button. And in this section, I'm going for the T interval button. All right, so I read through a whole problem. This is about price of houses or something. N is 25, and there's S right there. Okay, and that's the standard we're going to use in this class. Is just, oh, look, N is less than 30. Okay, I'm going to use my T button. T interval, where did they put that? Under stat, tests, and it's right under Z interval. So don't stop with the tests. Go past the test into interval, T interval. All right, and I'm not going to input data. I'm just going to use the stats I've already got on here. Okay, X bar. There it is right there, 181,000. SX, okay, 28,000. N is 25. And C level is 0.95. Make sure to use it as a decimal. And calculate. Okay, and you think, oh my God, I just killed my calculator. It's not doing anything. It has to think about these ones for a long time, but eventually it does. So it gives me an interval, so I write that on my paper. 16,944 point 169,442 comma 192,558. Okay, so I did what it said. I figured out it was T interval, put it all in my calculator, got the answer. Except that it always asks for that error, that big minus little divided by 2. So I go ahead and do that as well. 192,558 minus 169,442 is, and then divided by 2 is 11558. Plus minus. Okay, so did that one. That's all that's going on in this section. N equals 5. Okay, so maybe the scenario is I see in the paper that this company claims that you can be in and out of there with $50. Okay, and I'm like, I wonder if that's true. So I stand outside the store and I start asking people how much they spent, and after I've asked about 5 people, I don't know, somehow or other, the police threatened to have me removed from the property. So I can't do anymore. All I got is 5 data points. You're not going back to get any more. This is definitely a T interval situation. It's too difficult to get any more data points. So I got what I got, and that's it. Okay, so N is less than 30. So I'm definitely going into T interval. Stat, tests, T interval. Okay, X bar is 75. S is 12.5. N is 5. C level is 0.95. I was just doing this study on my own. No one ever came along to give me like a C level. If nobody tells you your C level is always 0.95 because that's the industry standard. Anyway, and then I hit calculate. I'll save 2 places because this is money and it might as well just be 2 places. And 90.52. And I need the error. So I got to go with big minus little divided by 2. 90.52 minus 59.48 is 31.04, and divide by 2 15.52. That's a really huge error given the size of the numbers in the problem, okay? But that's just what happens to you when you only have 5 data points. And then, well, what am I supposed to do with that $50? There's $50 written in this problem. I didn't do anything with it. That's because that's just some number some random guy who works at the company said. Why would I believe a word he says? Okay, I am 95% confident that the real number you're going to walk out of there is in that range, $59 to $90. You're not going to get out of there for $50. Okay, so you don't do anything with the $50. You just leave that as it's just not part of the problem. All right, so now moving on to the next question, which is about I'm heating up this frozen dinner and I try a regular oven versus I try a toaster oven, and then I'm trying to write the instructions for the back of the box. So I actually do a whole bunch. And really what you're supposed to do is, hey, look, N is bigger than 30. I'm just going to go ahead and use Z. Now, this company's decided that because they don't know sigma, they're going to go with S. And the reason for that is maybe T will give them just a little bit more wiggle room. They don't want to be, like, sued if somebody doesn't heat up their dinner enough. So, and that's the other reason why they're going 99% confident. They want to be really sure, okay? But since we're in a section, well, we're going to just pretend. We could do T. The notes have T because we're in a section on T. But since we're like saying, hey, your standard is N is bigger than 30, go ahead and just use Z. All right, so I'm going to use Z. So I look at N is 30. I'm going to go with Z here. So stat tests Z interval. All right, it's asking for sigma because Z always asks for sigma and I don't know it, and I'm going to put 10 in there. That's what's going to happen when you do project anyway. All right, and X bar is 30 and N is 112 and C level is 0.99. Okay, and I did something wrong. Start over again. All right. It didn't come out right. It came out with the mean is 0, and I know the mean is not 0, it's 30. All right. Z interval. Yeah. Okay. 27.566, comma 32.434. And then 32.434 minus 27.566 is, divided by 2 is, okay, so the error is plus or minus 2.4. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and use Z on the other one as well. Stat tests Z interval. Again, don't know sigma. I'm just going to put 12 in there. X bar is 33. C level 0.99. Calculate 30.079. 35.921. Error is 35.921 minus 30.079 divided by 2, 2.921. Okay, so what is this trying to say? One of them is like the regular oven and one's the toaster oven, and I don't know what instructions to put on the back of the box. This doesn't really help that much with that, okay, because there's some overlap here. Maybe the toaster oven takes less time, I think this is the toaster oven. Maybe the toaster oven takes less time than the regular oven. It's really hard to say based on these numbers, because all I know is that the mean time is in there somewhere. Okay. So that's how I do that. If you want to compare it to the numbers I got when I did this, for using the T button instead. This comes out as 27.52, and this comes out as 32.48. Okay, T is not going to, at this point, once you get n bigger than 30, T is not going to give you really any kind of different answers.